Hi and welcome to the Malat cookery channel. So in this video I'm going to be making a gas fire pit which also converts into a Chinese wok cooking station. Or that's the theory anyway. So I've had this idea for a while to try and produce a gas powered Chinese wok outdoor cooking station to complement the barbecue and pizza oven area. I had all sorts of different ideas as to what I was going to build the structure from, including metal plant pot frames, all sorts of different things. Then I saw on the internet, on the Aldi store's website in the UK, a barbecue and fire pit combination, which at the time was £150, which was way too expensive. But then I found out that it had actually been reduced to £74.99p, which was a lot more palatable. I mean, I bought it, and having bought it, it's now been reduced to about £37, but I think they ran out of those quite quickly. So the basis for this particular project is that barbecue stroke fire pit from Aldi stores, which I'll show you in a second. And then I had to come up with an idea for the actual gas part, so the gas ring part. Now I've already built a fire pit, which I'll show you. I didn't video that as a build project. I just didn't think it was suitable for YouTube. I'll show you the finished product though. Didn't really like the way that was constructed from 10mm copper microbore tube. So I've decided to use a paella or paella burner as the basis, a lot more sort of safe, and it's purpose built for gas cooking. So let's have a look at all the kit that I've got, and then obviously we'll run through the build process, and fingers crossed we'll come up with a really decent wok station and also a fire pit as a bonus. So this is really where the project started from. So this gas fired fire pit, which was originally purchased as a wood burning fire pit, just quite a cheap one. Then got a gas safe engineer with the LPG qualification, obviously, to produce a coil made from 10mm microbore copper pipe. This copper pipe is actually left over from a previous project, which was the distillery. Created a coil in the centre, holes obviously in the coil, connected to the gas pipe, and then play sand, lava rock, and it's an absolutely superb fire pit. Nice gentle flame, bit erratic, but all the better. The reason I didn't show this as a build video on YouTube is I can guarantee, even though I used a qualified gas safe engineer to do the gas coil, people see videos like that, I guarantee they'll try and do it themselves. So that's where it all started, just to see the principle. Right, so that fire pit idea has progressed to this. So this is the kit which I purchased from Aldi stores. Comes in two parts. I mean, you have to assemble everything, but it's basically in two parts. So this is where it's configured as a barbecue. So here, just below this hot plate, you have a central area for the coals or the wood to go, very similar to the fire pit. You've got a hot plate on top, got shelving around the outside, and a raised grill to cook food on. Or you take the grill off and you can actually use it as a wok station. From there, you then disassemble part of it, and the actual kettle that holds the coals or the wood then fits onto this base, and it becomes a fire pit. A nice fire pit. You can also put the bottom part of the structure on top of the fire pit to act as a guard in case you've got small children or very drunk people at your barbecue. my first impressions of this, an absolutely fantastic piece of kit, really substantial. Everything is very heavy. It doesn't look like it's sold very well for Aldi, otherwise he wouldn't have had to reduce it twice. And I think the only reason that it hasn't sold well is because it isn't very well explained. You can't really explain this structure just through 3 or 4 images on their website. It definitely needed some type of video in order to market this. It took me a while when I purchased it to realise what went where and how it actually works, but now I know how it works. It's absolutely superb. So this is its configuration as a barbecue. And I'll just dismantle it now and show you the configuration when you want to use it as a fire pit. Right, so a quick look at this. So I've marked out where we're going to cut the slots, so that will drop down. Well, these patio rings have stands on them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bend those stands in, so this drops to about 2 centimeters below the surface. That'll give a nice covering of lava rock. And the reason I'm not cutting these off is when we bend them in, I'm then going to drill through the stand and through the bottom of the kettle and put a bolt in there with a nut so that this ring gets fastened into place and doesn't move about. Right, so we're losing the light now, so I'm going to stop for the day. But let me show you where I'm up to. So I've cut the slots for the pipe work. That's now sat in. It's about the top of this piece is about 1 centimeter down from the edge. Going to drill holes in the legs that we've bent under, mark the kettle, and then obviously drill through there, bolt all that down so it's all fastened in place. And then that'll be the configuration for the wok station. So obviously the hot plate will go over the top. Use a centre ring, as I said before, and maybe this middle ring as well for the wok, depending on what heat we need. And then when we reconfigure it to a fire pit, which is the configuration it's in now, take a grate, maybe not this one, but I'll find a grate for it, and then position our lava rock on the outside and in the centre, and then we've got a really nice fire pit as well. So everything now has been cut out for the control unit. Holes have been drilled to fasten the burner in place. Next thing I'm going to do is anywhere where I've drilled or cut, I'm going to be using a file just to file down all the edges, and then give the whole base a really good coat of some heat resistant paint just to protect all the raw edges now, and hopefully try and make this last as long as possible. Right, so let me just show you where I'm up to. So the pyre burner is now fastened into place, it's all bolted down, everything is sprayed to protect it with high temperature black spray paint. First of all, I want to test it as a fire pit. So I've just taken a small length of the flexible gas pipe off the original fire pit. Just to test it out, use some soapy water to make sure there's no leaks on the 2 connections that I've made. I've ordered a 2 meter length of 8mm internal diameter gas pipe, flexible gas pipe, because I want the gas bottle to ideally be at least 1 meter away from the cooking surface or the fire pit surface. So this is really just a test. Wouldn't have the gas bottle this close. So in trial and error, before I started filming again, I placed this old grate on the actual pyre pan holders on the top of this burner, put the lava rock on, lit it. The only problem I found is these pyre burners, the holes are very uniform in the tubing and also uniformly spaced, which means that it's quite a uniform size of flame. If you place a grate on top of these pan holders and then the lava rock on top, the lava rock sits too high for the flame to actually come above the lava rock. And obviously the thing with a fire pit, it's not just the heat, it's the visual effect as well. So discarded that. I then found a very cheap grate off an old kettle barbecue in the shed. So this is a 45 centimetre. I've looked online, and 53 centimetres, which would be absolutely perfect for this, at the moment, because it's the end of the season, are actually reduced to about £2.50 in home base in the UK, but they're relatively cheap anyway. And all I've done is I've taken a Dremel with a metal cutting disc, cut some of the bars just to allow it to pass down below these pan holders and then just sit just above the actual burner itself. So actually resting on these in the center. I'm hoping that once I then now cover this with lava rock, that's going to give enough depth so that the flame does come through the lava rock and give that effect. So next thing I'm going to do, load this with lava rock now and do another test fire to see how it goes. So this is what it looks like in the fire pit configuration. Really pleased with it now. Just dropping those lava rocks down as low as possible, just above the flame. Just gets the flame coming through. Obviously during the day you can't see it, but as it starts to get dark, really comes to life. Really pleased with this part of it. So the next thing to do, I'm going to take the lava rock off, obviously when it goes cold, and then reconfigure this into the wok cooking station, and let's cook some food and see how it goes from that. So we've tested this now as a fire pit, works absolutely brilliant. In fact, as the night got darker, you could see the flames even more coming through the lava rock. Really pleased with it. Next thing I'm going to do, take the lava rock off. I'm actually going to take the grate out as well, and then I'm going to use this as a wok station. Let's see how it performs in that format. Right, so this is now set up as our wok station. So I've got 2 gas rings on this pyre burner available to me for the wok. So the inner ring and then the middle gas ring. The outer ring still won't go to waste because I can use that to actually heat this hot plate. So the idea being 2 inner rings to use to cook on, outer ring to heat the hot plate, and then as the food's being cooked, when we've got a family get together or barbecue, I can place some containers on this hot plate, put the food in there, and then people can then help themselves with the cutlery and any sauces and stuff on the wooden platform on the outside. I think it's going to be absolutely ideal. Just want to show you the area just underneath. So there's plenty of ventilation there for the flame between the hot plate and the actual kettle that holds the gas burner. So the fact that the wok sits in the hole, it's not an issue because there's enough airflow underneath for the flame. The actual wok that comes with this particular kit is next to useless really for this particular exercise, but I am going to use that for the standard barbecue cooking outside, so it won't go to waste. So first thing we need to do is I place a little bit of vegetable oil in the wok, getting the wok up to temperature. On this homemade wok station, that's taken a second, so really pleased about that. Get it where it's smoking hot, and then I'm going to be frying the veg off first. Okay, so it's literally at this last stage that we add in the sauce. If you add in the sauce any sooner than this, everything will just start to stew. So we pour that delicious sauce in. Mix that through for a minute or so just to heat up, and then that's it, the dish is done. So there you go, a relatively cheap Aldi charcoal barbecue cum fire pit, converted into a fully adjustable gas barbecue fire pit using a patio burner. Absolutely fantastic, works really well as a fire pit and even better as a wok station or a cooking station. You'll see a lot more of that kit on the Malat YouTube cookery channel. We're doing a lot more videos using that piece of kit. Just want to make a special mention for Patio Home UK. They're the people that supplied the patio burner. I paid full price for it, so they've not sponsored this video in any way. Paid full price for that burner, but I just wanted to mention them because they're a small company giving outstanding customer service, to the point where it got a little bit confusing what I actually wanted, obviously because of the nature of the project, and they insisted on a WhatsApp video call just so they could get it into their heads exactly what I needed. Absolutely outstanding customer service. I will put a link in the description below the video to their eBay store, just as a thank you to them for all their help. Again, this is not a sponsored video by them. I paid full price for that burner, but exceptional customer service. Please subscribe to the channel, and as usual, if you've enjoyed this particular video, hit the like button. Thank you very much for watching.